I got a lot of blisters.
You're listening to Nasty Labs, part of the Greenlit Podcast Network.
Nasty Labs. Nasty Labs.
All right, welcome to episode 2 of the Nasty Labs podcast. We're the podcast from game studio Chuhai Labs, where we talk about games, game dev, Japan, and you know what? Whatever else.
Yeah, we're pretty good sometimes. Hey, this is episode 2. I'm pretty excited. Kinsey, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm so excited to be back.
Oh, me too. Why are you excited to be back?
Because we are now proud members of the Greenlit Podcast Network.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting, actually. There's a lot of great podcasts on there. A couple of my favorites, Retronauts, No More Whoppers. You've been on a couple of them, is that right?
Yeah, Hair of the Dogcast is on that network as well.
Okay.
So we got a good crew. So big thanks to Jeremy Parrish for getting us all set up.
Shout out to Jeremy Parrish. He'll be on this show soon enough. We'll be on his shows even sooner enough. Tell me about the weekend in full besides you drank and got blisters.
That kind of sums it up. But I went to some breweries because fully vaccinated. So pretty excited about that.
That's pretty sweet. Is your betrothed also fully vaccinated?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, la-di-da. We still don't have vaccinations over here, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon. But we've got some self-medication that we can deal with. So things are going all right in the meantime.
Nothing quite cures the coronavirus like a Chuhai.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Chuhai Labs. It's our brand image. Nothing cures coronavirus. Chuhai Labs. What happened last week? Tell us the big news.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I'm so excited. And so last week was the Oculus Gaming Showcase. And why was that such a big deal? Because Chuhai Labs announced Carve Snowboarding.
All right.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah. This is your first time at a game studio. This is your first big announcement. How are you feeling on the inside? What's going on inside of Kinsey Burke right now?
I feel like almost like a kid in a candy store. Like if I would have told my 12-year-old self, be like, this is going to happen one day and it's going to feel so good. I don't even know if I'd believe myself. Like, it's so awesome. Like when we were sitting there watching the showcase and all of a sudden our game trailer comes on, it just felt so good.
It really did. This is a pretty Herculean effort. I mean, I'm absolutely thrilled that we were able to pull it off, and our friends over at Oculus, they helped edit the video. They were fucking astounding. I'll go back to them. I'll pay them good top dollar. I won't pay them good top dollar, but I'll work with them in the future because Joe and Adam from Oculus, they've been absolutely awesome. What you just said something that spiked my interest, piqued my interest. 12-year-old you, what would be going on in 12-year-old you's head if you were to time travel back to you and be like, yo, 12-year-old me, this is going to happen? What actually would you do? Run me through that. Oh, man,
I'd be like, oh, my gosh, did I get to announce Final Fantasy 47?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's definitely what I would be doing, too.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 47 would be the one, for sure. And, it would be the best one in our heads, right? It would be like...
Oh, totally.
Oh, man. 12-year-old us. Shit, we liked RPGs. What?
Oh, yeah.
What games were you playing, 12-year-old you? What were the top 3 hits?
Oh, boy. When I was 12, that would have been what? 97.
97, yeah.
So that must have actually been N64 era. I was probably playing Ocarina of Time.
Okay. All right.
It's probably around that point.
You were one of the spoiled kids who got the console first. I see what's going on. All right.
But I never had a Super Nintendo, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was a Genesis kid.
Oh, I'm really. Oh.
I know. Disappointing.
Genesis does. That's some bullshit. That's what I
What
thought.
Nintendo don't.
Yeah.
But I loved Sonic the Hedgehog as a kid, so I guess it worked out for me.
Because you had that Tude. Is that why?
Oh, I definitely had the 90s dude with the like neon sunglasses and like I would eat a lot of chili dogs because that's what
Bullshit.
Sonic the Hedgehog did.
Bullshit.
So I was like
That would be super tight if you would just eat chili dogs because of Sonic the Hedgehog.
that's how it started.
Yeah. So back to Carve Snowboarding. Yeah. What else are you excited about, like, in this preparation for this game coming out? We don't have a date, by the way, but it's soon. It's soon. Yeah. What else are you excited about as far as, like, this is your first game you've worked on, the first time at a game studio? Give me some more hits, some top hits.
I just love how like we had the announcement. I feel like the momentum is still going, and I hope it like goes all the way through release. It's such a good feeling that like every other little marketing push that you do, it's like, yes, it's getting out there more people are seeing it. And like especially when we were watching it on Twitch, the showcase, and watching the chat and people being so excited.
Yeah.
Because Giles, creator of 1080, and of course you could pet the dog.
Right.
So the chat went crazy, and I was such a good feeling.
That was pretty great. For viewers that don't know, Kinsey's in Seattle right now. We're in Kyoto. So the actual event itself was at 7 a.m. I was up. I already had 2 coffees by that point. I was absolutely, I was shitting myself because I was so excited. I had no idea what else was in the showcase. I didn't know where we fell in the showcase. I've released 7 games, and this was the best one. I guess every like most recent release is always the best one, but this felt so good, and it
this
felt
one was
like
real good.
Yeah, I felt like it was a good team effort, and I'm pretty fucking psyched. Pretty psyched, and just so viewers see it, thank you, Kinsey. Thank you for your hard work. All right, so just so viewers see it, I say it all the time, and I can't stress it enough. Kinsey Burke, she'll eventually move on to, like, I don't know, Ubisoft and be like their head of communications and some shit. But before that, she's kicking ass here. All right, I didn't know what I was. That's a terrible thank you, but whatever. Yeah.
Well, you can just buy me beer when I get to Kyoto.
A lot of beer. Yeah. And so what do we have coming up in the show today?
So, one really exciting thing, because, I mean, there's probably a lot of them, but this one definitely takes the cake. Coming up pretty soon, we have an exclusive interview with Chuhai Labs' current CEO and Carve Snowboarding creator, Giles Goddard.
Yeah, our current CEO. I like that keyword there. Like, he's not long for this world. We're gonna be wearing different clothing. It's gonna be taking place at a different time, but we're pretty excited. He lives on a remote island in the middle of nowhere, so we have to call him in. So it actually is a big deal for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty excited about that. It's gonna be fun.
Hey Benito, I've been reading the Bible lately, and nobody ever told me how many talking dogs and wizard battles were in this thing.
Well, Chris, you know what I always say. If you can understand Star Wars, you can understand the Bible.
Apocrypals, part of the Greenlit Podcast Network.
What
So
up?
for our next segment, I think we just instantly interrupt each other.
What up? Yeah, tell us what the next segment is.
So our next segment is What Up? And that's where we tell you what we've been playing lately. So Mark, what have you been playing?
Oh, shit. I get to start this time? Okay. So this is our episode 2. It's really our 3rd, but it's our episode 2, and I don't have a lot of time. So I've been making a really strong effort to play a new game every week. And this week I'm playing the recently released game. Oh shit, I'm gonna fuck up the name already. Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion on the Switch. I started playing it last.
Best name.
It's really good, and I want to point this out really quick. I had a game title called oh shit, now I'm gonna fuck it up. Never mind. It was something to do with crippling debt, and I just love the name so much, and I think that they understood this would ring true for a lot of people. Anyway, the game. Yeah, it's a Switch game, Switch and Steam game. It's a Zelda-like, I guess. I've played probably 2 hours so far, and it's hand-drawn graphics, absolutely astoundingly beautiful. You'll see it down below or above wherever we put the graphics. And so far, all of the dialogue, 100%, has been so Zoomer. Like, they'll say things like, "Hey gamer, how you doing today?" Like, "Okay, thanks, bye." Like, that's 100% of the dialogue, and it's super silly. Oh, the very first mission, you have to kill a snail, but you kill the snail, and the guy says, "Hey, you killed Jerry," but that guy owed me rent anyway, so we're all good. And like, that's like the first mission you have to do, and it was super silly, and I don't really have that much to say. I want to be fair to the game, and I don't want to say it's good or bad. Thus far, it's pretty good, and I'm going to continue playing it. I think that's all I can say. Kinsey, what are you playing?
So actually on the Switch, a bunch of indie games were recently on sale because they did like a big sale right after the last indie showcase.
Yeah.
And so I finally picked up West of Loathing because it was like really cheap. I'm pretty sure it was like less than $5.
Okay.
And so what that is, it is a turn-based RPG that is all stick figures.
Okay.
So very simple drawing. I guess I can say it's hand-drawn. I mean, they're stick figures. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's Western themed. And I actually had no idea that it was a turn-based RPG because, like, I've had people tell me, "Oh, you would like this," and I just never checked it out. So I had no idea. So in the very beginning, you, like, pick your class, and I'm a snake oiler.
A snake oiler? Like you squeeze snakes to get their oil?
Like, they had 3 classes, and it kind of made me feel a little bit like there was one that was very obviously, like, the mage.
Right.
But you got like bean magic. And then there was one that was very obviously like a warrior where you can like punch shit. And then I got the snake oiler, which is sort of like a rogue. So like, cause I'm putting a lot of like points into like being able to talk myself out of situations and like very charismatic, but I also whip people with snakes and it's awesome.
And thus far, if you had to give it the high level Kinsey's out of 10, it would be.
Ooh. So far, I'd probably give it 7 Kinseys out of 10.
7 Kinseys on. Put them on the board.
Because I did have to stop playing the other day because I was getting really tired and the puzzle was really hard and my brain just couldn't do it. And I was like, "No, I'm dumb and tired."
No, tired. Okay. Is it on the Nintendo Switch? Because
It is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's on Switch, and it's awesome. It's super funny. It's like it looks like it has a lot of replayability because there's different classes, and then you can choose a different companion that has different perks, and you only get one companion, at least so far. And then you pick your horse, and your horse has different like stats as well. So certain like my horse is a ghost, so like. I encounter more like scary stuff.
All right.
It's pretty sweet.
And it's on sale right now?
Yeah, at least it was when I bought it last week. So.
Okay. So
maybe.
I will get it and I will report back next week on my what up of that's the game I'm playing. And I'm going to tell you
It's
how
awesome.
many Kinseys out of 10 I give it. Frankly.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's as good as place as any to say. Next up, we've got our interview with Giles. Giles Goddard, our current CEO. Welcome aboard. It's great to see you, buddy. You're down on the islands. Where are you right now?
Ishigaki, which is the southernmost part of Japan, I believe.
And how often, for people that don't know, you fuck off to the islands, how often throughout the year?
As much as possible. I know, once a month for 2 weeks, a week or 2 weeks.
And for people that don't know, that's a real ball ache.
It's great. It's great.
Well, thanks for joining us on our podcast, Nasty Labs. It's good to see you, buddy.
Thank you for having me. Current CEO.
Current CEO. So, Kinsey, kick this thing off.
All right. Well, to begin with, for people who don't know, and I don't know who those people are, but Giles, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Giles Goddard, and I'm the current CEO of Chuhai Labs.
Perfect.
Wow.
And then also, for people who don't know, our main topic for this is Carve Snowboarding, and then snowboarding games in general. So to start off with, go ahead and introduce Carve. What is Carve? Because we just announced it, and we're so excited.
Carve is a snowboarding game for this thing, which is a Quest, Oculus Quest, the VR device, which is extremely cool. And it works on Oculus Quest 1 and 2 and a Rift.
That's awesome.
What kind of game is it?
Did I say it's a snowboarding game?
Oh, okay. It's a snowboarding game. Like, can you go into a little finer detail so people know what Carve Snowboarding might be?
I should have thought about this. I don't know. It's a semi-simulation, semi-arcade, realistic feeling, but exhilarating, fun VR snowboarding game that uses controllers to control your board.
And I'm going down a mountain. Run me through what I'm
You're
doing.
going up a mountain, like you do on snowboarding. Yeah, there's a mountain. You have 6 courses, 6 parts of the mountain, and the goal is to try and get to the top of the mountain, starting off on the beginner slopes to go up to the peak of the mountain.
Okay. Riveting stuff you got for us. Kinsey, what other snowboard things should we talk about with our current CEO?
So why did you decide to do this particular game in VR?
Basically, I think the original, about 5 years ago, I made a prototype demo. We're using the DK1, which is the original Oculus development kit. I think it was on Kickstarter. We sort of funded Kickstarter, and we got one of the first units. And I thought, I have to see what it feels like to be on a snowboard going down a mountain in VR, because I hadn't played any games. It was basically like that. So I made a prototype, and I spent ages trying to figure out how to control it without feeling sick. And after many, many years of experimentation, that's what turned into Carve.
Cool. And when did the Oculus Quest come into being? Because when did you go from DK1, where you're tied down to all these cables, to the Quest?
I'm trying to think of the timeline. So for a long time, we had the Rift, DK1, which is basically it's tethered to your PC. And then the Rift came along. And then I think maybe the Go, but the Go was quite underpowered compared to the Quest, obviously. And it was really, it's really the Quest, when they announced the Quest, that didn't need a PC, it didn't need the lighthouses or whatever, what you call them. And it was truly wireless. That was where it was like a game changer for all of this stuff. And it had proper tracking.
Okay, that's so you worked on 1080 snowboarding. You're kind of one of the founders of video game snowboarding games.
Genre.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, more or less, you kind of you kickstarted that whole, between this and Tony Hawk. It kind of kickstarted the extreme sports. Have you always been a snowboard fan? Have you always been where does your history go back to as far as that?
Well, I'm from the UK, and we don't have mountains or snow in the UK. So, I only started snowboarding when I came to Japan, and that was about the time that snowboarding started taking off. So yeah, I've been, I guess, snowboarding for like 30 years, but only since coming to Japan. But I'm always very much, when I make games, I'm always more interested in the controls rather than the game mechanics or the gameplay or that sort of stuff. I'm more interested in the camera, the controls, and how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
So that snowboarding is kind of a perfect fit for that kind of game.
Well, like you've destroyed all the competitors with 1080 snowboarding. How do you foresee or do you think this is the game changer of how snowboarding games and extreme sports are going to interact with VR in the future?
I think it may be a game changer from the point of view of thinking about how you control snowboarding games in VR. Just to give you a basic outline, you control your board with these sticks, with these touch controllers, and where you're pointing is where your board is pointing in VR. So if you do that, then you'll rotate around like that. So it doesn't feel like, it doesn't sound like it's very natural, but when you actually try it in VR, because your entire body is facing the same way, and your arms are facing the same way as they would if you're actually snowboarding, it feels extremely natural. And after a while, you forget that you're actually controlling the board with your hands, and it just feels like you're doing it with your feet. We tried attaching stuff to your legs and trying that, and it just didn't work. You don't have the speed of movement, or whatever. We also tried using control, using the joystick and stuff like that, and that just feels crap. So I think it may be a game changer from the point of view of controls. But obviously, we're a small studio. We can't afford massive teams. So,
right.
I don't know.
So what's Kinsey has a mountain of questions, I'm sure, but I want to know what's the thing that sets Carve Snowboarding apart? Like, or rather, what's your favorite part about Carve Snowboarding? What's the favorite detail?
Number one, controls. Number one is the way it feels so natural, and the amount of subtle control you have over your board, especially when you turn on edge control. Just to explain that, in the game you can have auto edge and manual edge. The edge is the angle of your board against the snow. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite part. Just the amount of control you get, really fine control that you get over your board. And my other favorite part is no wires, so you can put it on your head, spin around, and do whatever you want with no worries about getting strangled.
Snowboarders are notorious party animals. You tend to
Stoners.
Yeah, be stoners and like smoke a joint on the way up on on the lift, or right before you go down a ride. Do you foresee that translating well to Quest 2 users in legal places? Do you think that that'll be a good experience? Did you optimize it for them?
The problem with living in Japan is I haven't been high and played VR since coming to Japan. Right. So I need, especially with COVID, it's very hard to go to somewhere where you could be high and play VR.
Right.
So I'd like to think it is catered to it, but I haven't tested it fully yet. Okay. So I'm open to invitations to test it in a legally safe environment.
Legally safe.
I feel like it would translate really well, because also if something goes wrong or anything, you're not up a giant mountain. You're in your living room. So it'll be great. And if you just need to, just take a lay down, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't try LSD on it, though. I mean, that's maybe taking it too far.
Might be a little dangerous.
But weed for sure. Especially the music aspect of it as well.
Oh, yeah. You could just sit in your cabin, if it gets too much.
Yeah, and play with the dog, pet the dog.
Yeah.
What's the future look like for Carve Snowboarding? Like, and do you want to make this into a series? Do you want what do you want out of this, Giles?
I want to rule the world. No, I don't know. I'd like to see it on other platforms. I'd like to see it on other VR platforms. I think it's a great VR experience. So I'd like to see it on, say, PSVR or other things like that. You know, where you can take the power of PlayStation 5 and really sort of really go to town on it. I mean, the original prototype had snow that was actually falling and mounting up, and you could push the snow down the mountain and make jumps out of that snow and then jump off it. So I'd like to see that on the PS5.
PS5.
That'd be rad.
PS5 and the Quest 3, maybe.
Quest 3.
Quest
or
3.
4 or 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Kinsey,
But you know, with that, you know, at the moment, the Quest is by far the best VR platform, hands down.
Shout out to Oculus real quick.
Yeah, I love the Quest. As someone who has never been huge into VR because I get sick, like even just not having the like hassle of setting everything up, the Quest is already so amazing. And even in Carve, I didn't get sick. I was surprised. Well, at least on the mountain, I didn't get sick. But I know you mentioned it before that you were trying to fine tune the controls so people wouldn't get motion sickness. What do you think did it in Carve? Like, is it the controls? Is it that you control it with your hands, or?
It's primarily the camera and the fact that the camera is not rotating around without you moving your head. That's the thing. That's the number one thing that causes sickness, motion sickness. Is the camera sort of doing one thing, in your head's doing a different thing, and your brain just goes, "What do I do here?" And in Carve, we don't move the camera. You have to move your head to see where you're going all the time, so that you never get that sort of sense that your eyes are being pulled away. Originally we had snowboarding, skiing, sledge, and a scooter thing. And the sledge and the scooter were the two things that gave you really bad motion sickness, whereas the skiing and snowboarding was fine. And the reason being is that when you're on a sled, when you move the sled, your entire view has to rotate with the sled. You see what I mean? You don't have to move your head to rotate the view. And that causes really bad sickness. So I think it's primarily the camera, the fact that the camera is fixed forward, and you just move around to see where you're going.
Man, I love sledding so much. I definitely would have been like, VR sledding, yes, and then I would have thrown up everywhere.
Yeah. It sounds like it should work, and it obviously it does work. But as soon as you start rotating left and right, you just go like that.
Yep, I could see that.
In fact, I actually tried a version where like the snowboarding, where the camera didn't rotate and just the sled underneath you rotated. So you'd have to do that, but then it didn't really feel like you're on a sled anymore. It felt like you're on some sort of weird pivot on a sled.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't have anything else for our current CEO, Giles.
I'll be off then.
Kinsey, do you have anything for him?
I thought it'd be super fun to talk about our favorite snowboarding games of the past.
Oh shit.
Since we're talking about Carve and like the new era of snowboarding, we can remember the ones from before, because there are some great ones.
Yeah, there are.
Apart from 1080.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Shit. I'm stuck.
Twisted Edge. I think there was something called Weird Edge or something like that, or Twisted
Edge.
Mind or head or something. I can't remember.
Twisted Edge.
Yeah, it was done by some guy called Jake at 17-bit, I believe. He claims it's good. I don't think it's obviously wrong.
For our listeners, Twisted Edge was worked on by one of our friends here in Kyoto, Jake Castle.
Very good friend.
Yeah, very good friend. We fucking hate that guy. He's
He
dog
also
shit.
he worked on Carve.
He did work on Carve. He made helped make a lot of the early concept art through some of his artists, and he's been a long time supporter of us. Would you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
In fact, the original idea was for me and him to go away to Nagano somewhere, rent a cabin, and make Carve up there.
Right.
Just the two of us,
Just
over and over.
yeah. Yeah. He's awesome. He's a dork. We've all been to his studios and hung out with him.
Anyway, the point is he made another snowboarding game while I was making 1080, which is quite a weird coincidence we had. They were literally making a snowboarding game at the same time without knowing about each. We didn't know about them. They didn't know about us.
Right. And how would you compare Twisted Edge to 1080 snowboarding? Could you compare it? I mean,
I don't think so.
I believe your words were Twisted Edge is hot dog shit.
No, it is actually a great game. It's just a very different game. I have to be honest. It is a very good game. It's more arcadey, I think. We were definitely going for the simulation side of it.
Right. Kinsey, what OG snowboarding game are you thinking about?
So one of my favorite older snowboarding games is Snowboard Kids on the N64. I loved it when I was little. Like, I rented it so many times that I'm pretty sure I bought it twice. Like, it was amazing. And I just really liked it because a lot of the levels were like, some of them were actually just like a mountain. And then some of them were like really silly, like almost like Cruising the USA style, almost in a way, like this one's in a mall or something. And it was super fun. And all the characters, of course, they had that kind of like 90s tude a little bit, which was pretty awesome when you were like 12.
What year would that be?
That was probably what, 96, 97, if I had to guess, something like that.
Oh shit.
Oh really?
I think
Wasn't
it was
1080 98?
I think it was. Well, we're not video game historians, all right?
Yeah, it was on the N64 in the mid to late 90s.
I don't think I ever played it. If I did play it, I didn't leave much of an impression.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna review the game with our current CEO. We're gonna do a video of actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna have you review a lot of games, Cool Borders, Amped, and just talk about how you hate them so much.
Heavy Shredding.
Heavy Shredding.
Oh, I don't know that. No, I have not played that. What is
it's
that?
On the NES.
NES. Wow. They were still making NES games in the 90s.
Yeah, actually they were. I don't know if this one was particularly in the 90s, but I'm pretty sure that the NES did go like 90, 91. It overlapped the Super Nintendo like more than I always think it did.
Well, I don't have any games besides Tommy Moe's Winter Extreme Sports for the Super Nintendo, and as none of us had heard of Tommy Moe, I'm sure he was a great snowboarder, but that game is a little shit. And I got that game. I got that game for a Christmas. I think it was '94, and it's just an outrun style game. Just get down to the mountain. It has nothing to do with actually snowboarding. There's nothing in the game.
Who is Tommy Moe?
He's a professional snowboarder.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Sorry, Tommy.
Sorry, Tommy.
Didn't know that.
Well, what else we got for Giles? No,
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, Giles, is there anything last words you want to say for our plethora of listeners of Nasty Labs?
I could do the Japanese thing and say, please enjoy our game. We look forward to having people enjoy our game. Carve Snowboarding for the quest.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for your time today. This has been really fun. When you
Thanks
get
for
back,
having me.
yeah. When you get back,
I have a question.
Oh no, you don't.
I do.
Okay.
When I go back to Kyoto, will I still be CEO?
Currently,
Yes.
yes.
So when I go back, will I be?
We'll see. I mean, yeah. Well, I'll get the board together and see what's happening.
See what
on that. Yeah.
Depends on how
What's
many
up?
Chuhais you bring back.
Ah,
Yeah. You know what? You go to the islands every month, and you've never brought back presents. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Ooh.
yeah, that's a good point.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, maybe I could get some Chuhais actually. Get some Yayama Chuhais that they do make, and they're really good. They're shikwasa Chuhais.
See, it sounds like you're going to be keeping your position after all. Just saying. Well, thanks so much for your time today, and we will see you soon. We're going to get back to our regular programming now.
Hey Chris, what's the War Rocket Ajax podcast about?
Well, Matt, if we were smart, it'd be about murders, but it's actually about comics.
War Rocket Ajax. It's not about murders, but it is weekly on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
All right, and next up, we got the news.
What's happening
Hell yeah.
in the world of games right now, Kinsey, Burke?
All right, so this first thing I know is going to be right up your alley.
No, it isn't.
Because in that alley is Mother 3, and it got an updated English patch on its 15th anniversary. I'm just excited someone remembered its 15th anniversary and celebrated it somehow.
In such a big way, too. Like,
Yeah,
we're going to retranslate. I don't know if they're retranslating, but like update the patch, make it a little bit more accurate, probably. Yeah, this is pretty astounding that like that community just keeps going. They are unstoppable. I don't even know what to say. I'm a huge Mother 2 fan. I do love Mother 3, of course. I'm covered in Mother 2 Earthbound tattoos. Let's see if you can see no, you can't see it. Shit. Whatever. Yeah, so this is pretty astounding, and Reggie Fils-Aimé kind of tweeted about it a little bit. He's on board. If only he was on board back in the day. I feel like he was, though. I feel like deep down he wanted to bring it over, but the powers that be said no. That's
yeah, because one thing I really liked about him is he was very obviously like almost like a gamer first and a businessman second in a way.
Right.
Like, you could tell that he was really passionate about it and played a lot of games himself.
Yeah. Who would have thought that the former CEO of Domino's would just be like the greatest American CEO of NOA? Much love to Reggie. Much love. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I think Nintendo is still holding off. I think they will bring it out eventually, but they're strategizing because they can't do anything with this English patch. They can't just take it. They can't. Yeah. So they're probably kicking themselves for not releasing it, to be honest. Like.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wonder if they're gonna like redo it because Mother 3 was on the Game Boy, right?
Game Boy Advance, yeah.
Game Boy Advance, yeah. So wouldn't it be awesome though if they redid it with like the new style Super Nintendo graphics? Like,
yeah,
that would be awesome.
Just push it just a little bit more, like.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't. I mean, I'm going to say it wouldn't take much. Of course, it would take fucking a lot, but they have everything ready.
Yeah.
Nintendo, what's up? You live down the street from us. Come over here. We'll drink you under the table, and then you know what? Let's make Mother 3.
Yes.
This is our official pitch. We're gonna port Mother 3 for you. All right. You're welcome. Wow, what else?
How many Chuhais does it take for Nintendo to let us
47 Chuhais. And I think
47.
they'll let us do anything.
And they'll be dead.
Good point. Good. Yeah. So, what else is in the news?
All right, for our next story, so Bit Summit announced that it's actually going to be in person this year. It's going to be held September 2nd and 3rd, and
Which is what day? Which is what day, by the way?
Oh, it's my birthday.
Uh-huh.
So it's basically the best weekend to have an indie game expo because it's my birthday.
Yeah. You have a history with Bit Summit, even though you've never been to it physically. You do have a little bit of a history.
Yeah, since last year they obviously couldn't hold it in person. They did it all online, so I streamed some games for them, and it was really fun. And it was actually my first time ever streaming.
The fact that your first time ever streaming and it was for a big online event, that's pretty awesome. I'm a huge Bit Summit fan. I came to Japan. Basically, I planned my tour with my band around going to Bit Summit because I wanted to meet all of these amazing people that come to it. And for people that don't know Bit Summit, it's like kind of the premier indie games event. One of them in the world, but definitely the biggest in Japan. And it's kind of treated like a mini GDC or a mini PAX. So many people come from around the world to like meet other developers, to show off their game. It is the greatest event. I've worked for them. I love them. I have a much love for them. So
Bit Summit's actually like a pretty big influence on me wanting to move to Japan to work in games. So it's been one of those like dream expos for me for a long time. Like it wasn't Tokyo Game Show.
Right.
It was Bit Summit.
Yeah, me too. I mean, like wholeheartedly. Like I always wanted to go to Tokyo Game Show, but there was something more grounded about Bit Summit. Yeah. I mean, it's closer to PAX. It's closer to it's one of those events where you can go up to the developer and say like, "Thank you for making your game." Where you can't do that at Tokyo Game Show.
No.
Like this is or one of those E3s. Like you can actually get to meet people and drink with them down by the Kamagawa River in Kyoto, which you just can't do anywhere else. And
there's something really fun about having an awesome expo like that, like in the town that you live in.
Yeah, it is really fun because you get to basically run all the parties. You're the champion. People want to meet you. It's pretty exciting. I feel
that way like a little bit about PAX West.
Right.
Like it's so weird. Like I go to a lot of expos.
Right.
And for PAX West, like I sleep at my own house, not in a hotel. It's so weird.
Yeah, that is actually really strange. Do you find that when it's PAX West that you drink more or less?
I don't know. Like I try not to drink too much at conventions because in my 30s, I have very bad hangovers. And if I have to work a booth the whole day the next day,
right,
that spells trouble.
Yes.
But I have not always followed that rule.
Yeah, I find that when it's an event local to me, I don't drink as much only because I want to keep my composure, and because it's like this is my turf, I'm the guy. But when I travel, I let loose a little bit and stay up till 5 a.m. talking with people, having people bang on the walls of my hotel room. Yeah, that happened last time at PAX. That was pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Great. Bit Summit.
All right. Well, now it's time for Call Me Up, where we answer your questions from Discord.
Hell yeah. Discord. If you don't know already, discord.gg/Chuhai Labs. Go there. Talk with us. We're always online. We're posting dumb stuff. We have good emojis. So yeah. Question one.
If you could have your 2 favorite game studios create your ultimate crossover games, who are the studios, what would be the crossover, and what type of game would it be?
Shit. This is... I've been thinking about this all weekend, and all right, I'm gonna hop in. I'm gonna say I want to see SquareSoft and Nintendo come back together for one last union. I want them to make Super Mario RPG 2. All right, that's what I want to. I want them to bring back the old team. Come on.
Oh, that'd be so awesome, especially if it looked like Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, like it can. I don't care what it looks like. I just like that. The original game is so close to my heart. It was one of the first RPGs I was fully obsessed with and knew where all of the green coins or whatever they're called, or how to beat the boss Q-Lex, the secret Final Fantasy boss. I want it back. So that's mine. Kinsey, what is yours?
That would be awesome. So mine, I think I'm gonna go with aesthetically Vanillaware, because they do beautiful hand-drawn games like Muramasa, Dragon's Crown. Like, they do all these beautiful, beautiful games. I love it. Odin Sphere, God, Odin Sphere's so good. But have them team up with a company like BioWare, specifically like Dragon Age 1, Mass Effect 1-ish era BioWare. That's the best. And so that way, good story, RPG, branching storylines, beautiful graphics because Vanillaware, and since it's BioWare, I get to bang that hand-drawn elf.
Finally, I get to
Yes!
just hardcore banging of elves. That's what I'm talking about. But they're hand-drawn this time. Man.
That's all I ever wanted in life.
I don't
know. I think that'd be awesome.
By the way, I'm taking that little thing you said, and I'm gonna make that a key repeatable moment and throw that online. I'm gonna bang that hand-drawn elf. Yeah, agreed. I mean, what else? That's good.
All right, next question.
Yeah.
So, not sure if it's been discussed yet. All right, so this we can discuss as many times as you guys want, because what's your go-to Chuhai? If it's not Strong Zero, which Strong Zero is your favorite?
Do you have a favorite, Kinsey?
Well, okay. Kind of, but... Okay, first of all, for those people who don't know, a Chuhai is a drink from Japan, typically of the adult variety, where it is like a fruit flavor mixed with like sparkly water and shochu.
Right.
And they usually like come in a can. And then Strong Zero is basically that, but like malt liquor, where it's like 9%.
Yeah, those things will wreck you.
Yeah, and they're so sweet. So like, I don't know, I don't do Strong Zero. Like, I could maybe have one to like kick things off, but no. I think it's just gonna make me sick.
It's basically just a pregame booze.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're anywhere from 3 to 9%. They wreck you.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen people, friends of mine, wake up in places they shouldn't wake up, like public bathroom toilets, like curled around.
No.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I definitely, I like them though. I mean, on occasion, if the seasonal blueberry in a can is my Chuhai of choice.
See, that sounds really good, because in Seattle, I can get from the like Japanese grocery store in Seattle, I can get grapefruit and lemon. And the lemon tastes like Pine Sol floor cleaner.
Ooh.
It's not very good. And the grapefruit isn't much better, but it's better. So I don't want to say grapefruit's my favorite, but and then actually the best kind of Chuhai is not one that comes in a can, but I know you can get them in Kyoto this way, and there used to be a restaurant in Seattle you could get it this way, where they bring you like the shochu and like sparkly water mixed, and then they bring you like a sliced in half orange or a grapefruit or a lemon and a juicer, and then you juice it yourself and put that fresh juice in there. Oh, that is good shit.
That is the way, and I couldn't agree more. I talked with Giles about it recently, and we had a few years back, 2 years back, we had a fresh raspberry, freshly squeezed raspberry. I mean, we're talking like it was decadent. I think it was like $12 at Chuhai, but I'm telling you, it was
Worth it.
It was pretty great. Oh, and actually, there's a Chuhai place in town called Sour, and they make like bonkers ones, and they have my favorite is cilantro apple vinegar, and yeah, no, hold on. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Okay.
Doesn't make sense. I'm telling you, it is a delight. I don't want to have multiple. I don't want to have more than two, but two because it's an indoor-outdoor place. You can hang out in the street. It is super refreshing for the summer. It's pretty amazing. I'm taking you there. I'm forcing you to drink it. I don't care. Cilantro apple vinegar. Fucking weird.
I'm game.
Yeah. Fucking weird.
The only thing throwing me for a loop is actually the vinegar, but vinegar plays well with others. Like on its own, it's like not great. I'm like, no one's gonna drink vinegar,
No.
and you use it to like wash stuff.
Yeah.
But like it does like play well sometimes with different flavors. So I would be down to try it.
You're going to try it. It's the law. That's going to be your second drinking night when you arrive in Kyoto. Not the first. The first, we're just going to like take shots all night long. Just so you know. That's your second drinking night.
All right. It's going to have to be like a week later, it sounds like, so I can like recover.
Yes.
But, and for our last question, what games have you spent the most time on, and what games do you keep coming back to?
These are two similar but very different questions.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna rapid fire mine. Probably spent the most time on Fallout New Vegas. Probably.
Excellent choice.
Yeah, I think it's the best in the series. I'm a big Fallout 1 and 2 fan. I didn't really like 3, but Fallout New Vegas. Mwah. But the game I keep coming back to, I probably play it once a month, I would say, but Mario 2.
Interesting.
I love Mario 2. I think it's a near perfect game. I love the music. I love being able to pick characters. I love that every time I play it, I can basically decide easy or hard mode by picking Princess or by picking Toad. Toad is really, really hard, but it's a really fun way to play the game over and over. And the fact that they kind of build in that easy and hard mode right in the game. Easy, hard, and silly, because you can also be Luigi, who's got the really stupid jump. But I mean, yeah, I would say that's the game I come back to the most. Yeah.
You know what the best part about Mario 2 is?
What? Oh, what?
Birdo.
Oh, right.
Birdo's
Birdo.
my favorite character.
I do like Birdo.
I feel like I've mentioned this on a podcast before, which is hilarious because we only have like 2 other episodes. But Birdo not being in the new Mario Kart is a crime.
It's a crime, Nintendo.
There's like 5 versions of Mario in different metal colors, but there's no Birdo.
I do love Birdo too. Except I hate the later Birdo that only shoots fire. I think that is a ripoff. All right, that's really hard. It's still hard, even though I play it once a month.
It's not her fault.
Yeah,
she just ate way too much curry.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
and a volcano.
And a volcano. Yeah. So Kinsey, you have 2 questions in front of you. What do you spend the most time in, and what are you coming back to?
So game I spent the most time on is probably Skyrim.
Okay.
Because I was also trying to think if I'd ever played like an MMO, and I don't think I played one for as long as I played Skyrim. I played Skyrim a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like 300 or 400 hours. Mm-hmm. Actually, now that I think about it, I probably have that or more in Animal Crossing as well.
Holy shit.
But the games I keep coming back to, so I have a couple of games that I love them.
Right.
Pretty much I love Burnout. I think that's the best, like, you had a shitty day and you just want to play a game, like, that you know really well, but it's also cathartic because you're like running into all those cars.
Right.
It's excellent. So Burnout, and recently actually Burnout Paradise, when before I was like a pretty big like Burnout Revenge fan.
Okay.
But Paradise is great because you also get that like driving around thing that you can get that feeling in like GTA.
Right.
Where you're just kind of wandering, and sometimes that feels good. So that and Katamari. I love the Katamari games, and I can play them forever until my hands break, because every time I play it way too long and my hands hurt, and I'm like, I love you, Katamari,
Right.
and my bones are all broken.
All right. Those are logical coming back to you, especially Katamari, because every time it's just a little different, a little like that makes sense. Yes, I approve.
All right, and that about does it for episode 2 of Nasty Labs. First of all, obviously, we want to thank Giles for that excellent interview. Current CEO, Chuhai Labs, amazing. Carve Snowboarding, coming to Oculus platforms near you soon. Very exciting.
Fuck yeah.
We're probably not going to stop talking about Carve like ever, so
Nope.
get ready for that.
Nope.
And join us again in 2 weeks for episode 3. And Mark, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Henry Demos. I work at Chuhai Labs. I'm a director of business development and producer, and I'm lucky enough to be partnered up with Kinsey, where people can find you. Ooh.
You can find me on the internet at Kinzilla, Kinszilla. I always spell it because I spelled it weird, and yeah, it's a thing.
Kinszilla.
Yeah, because there's an S and a Z.
It's new. It's modern.
It's great.
And where can we find?
Then,
Yes.
of course, also follow Chuhai Labs, which is at Chuhai Labs everywhere.
Everywhere. On SoundCloud, on Vimeo, on Tumblr, you can just find it. Just search us. We are all over the internet.
Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.